Coaches, you are being lied to. Now, who's lying to you? It's not me. It's all the gurus in the space that are giving you their outdated content strategies from like 2021 telling you this is how you scale your online business. Now, with the new Andromeda update from Meta, these strategies no longer work. And what I'm going to be doing today is teaching you guys the 3-step content system that you can use in 2025, 2026 that actually works with the new Andromeda update and doesn't work against you. Meta's new engagement trap and how the algorithm is rewarding the wrong creators. And let's teach you today how to outsmart this. Presented by me, Liam Brown. Let's dive right in. Number one, you are not shadow banned. Stop telling yourself that. You are not shadow banned. You are optimizing for the wrong KPI. So in 2025, 2026, Meta does not give a crap about how many likes and comments your posts get. They don't. They do not care. This isn't 2022 anymore when that used to matter. Comments back 2-3 years ago was the most important metric for your content. Now it doesn't even play a role. What Meta cares about is the retention. They care about how long you are keeping people on their app. And I'm sure you probably hear this all the time, but it is the truth. Comments don't keep people on the app. Likes don't keep people on the app. What keeps people on the app? Replays, consistently watching a video through and through. Retention, shares outside of the story, right? We don't want just shares on people's stories. We want people sending this to other people. Why? Because that tells Meta that this is such a good post that you just notified your friend, colleague, whoever it was, to also watch that post. And you want to be that person that those shares are going out to. But the trap, what do most creators actually fall into? Most creators are unknowingly training the algorithm against them. Why is that? It's because you are still relying off of the old metrics. Now, the problem, and what I was just kind of going into, is that the engagement that we used to try to achieve, it used to help you. It used to grow your account, but now it could actually hurt you. It also could help you, but for the most part, it's probably hurting you. Why? In 2020, 2023, the way the Meta algorithm worked was likes, comments, kind of like I was mentioning. But now the new AI Meta tracking, what it does is it actually shows creators who are keeping people on the app. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are now. With the new Andromeda update, it has never been easier to be a small creator and outperform big creators. And the reason for that is that they are keeping people on the app longer. So you're getting surface level engagement in a short watch time. What is that doing? That's signaling to Meta that you are uninterested. You might be getting comments, you might be getting likes, but we live in 2025 going to 2026. How many bad posts on Instagram do you see with a lot of likes, right? With a lot of comments. It doesn't always reward growth the same way. So rather than feeding the wrong data back to your system, let's actually send the right data to the algorithm for you. So what's going on underneath the hood of all this, right? Like we kind of talk about all this, but what does that actually look like? Now, it's the engagement trap. And how is this a trap? It's because what you're doing is you are optimized for the wrong metrics. So you are optimizing your algorithm for the wrong metrics. So this is probably you. You post a quick, catchy reel with the idea of having the most insane hook. You are thinking, how can I get these people hooked for the first 3 seconds, right? But kind of like I have there, your average watch duration is 2 seconds because the only thing that got people interested in your content was the hook. You're looking at about a 5K views and 300 likes. But what does the algorithm think from that, right? Only an average of 2-second duration watch time, not a lot of sense. It thinks that people are skipping past this fast. People, we've shown this to 5,000 people. It got less than a 10% like to view ratio, which again, that metric used to be important, not as important anymore. What Meta's going to really look at is only people only watch about 2 seconds. Let's not push this creator again. Meanwhile, like I was just saying, there's creators out there, they might only have 800 views or 400 views. But if that average watch duration is 45 seconds or even 20 seconds compared to your 2 seconds, that creator is going to pass you in no time. In no time, no matter how good your hook is, no matter how authoritative driving you are. If that other creator with less followers, less authority, less trust is getting people to watch 20 seconds of their video, they're going to pass you in no time. So what's our new goal? What is the actual new goal we have to set for ourselves? Let's not consider how many likes we can get. Let's not consider how many comments we can get. What we want to do is we want to keep these people who we are directly targeting, our ICP, we want to keep them on this algorithm for as long as possible. That is our goal when we are creating content, is how can I get people back to this page, back to my page? How can I get people to share this post? And how can I actually make this post something that people want to stay on the app, right? We don't want to drive people off the app. We want to get people to stay on the app. Now, the 4 signals or KPIs or metrics that Meta actually cares about in 2025 and in 2026. Did they watch to the end? Did they replay the video? And again, this isn't going to work like how it did in 2022 when you can just post a 2-second video and then that loops and loops and loops and loops and loops. That don't work no more, right? So are you posting an actual video that's getting replays and loops? Right? Is it like kind of like what I said earlier? Is this being sent inside of the DMs to your friends, to other people, right? To coworkers, etc. Right? Instagram doesn't want to just see people posting on stories, right? Right? That doesn't get people onto the app typically, right? Unless they got post notifications set up for you. But what does get people onto the app? New DM from X, Y, and Z, right? And that's your post in there. That gets people on the app. Now, the other big one that used to never matter is what we call profile depth. What's profile depth? How are you getting these people to go back to your actual channel? Are they scrolling through your channel? Now, if you want a little hack with this and something I want to implement here for all the people who are listening, you posting your best reels as trial reels here is going to be absolutely killer. And if you have some awesome trial reels, one of the best ways that you can go about this is in your description having some sort of caption that lets them know that part 2 is on your page, or the second part of the video is on your page. Why does this work well? Well, because when they go back to your page, they're not going to be able to find that trial reel, and instead they are just doom scrolling through your page. So you want a little hack on how to kind of go above and beyond with this. That is one of the most winning hacks that we are using with our clients right now in 2025, heading into 2026. But essentially what we are doing here is these are the metrics that Meta is looking for. So we want to make sure that all of our videos, all the content that we produce is in line with these 4 signals, and these 4 signals only. Because at the end of the day, you are here to grow your account, to generate more leads and to close more deals, right? And you're not going to be able to do that if you are consistently working against the algorithm. So these deep signals, what we call, is how Meta is actually using to what's called rank creators. They don't care as much over your follower count, your like count, your comment count. They're using what's called these deep signals to do that. Now, why are most creators losing? Because you make scroll stopping content, but it's not scroll keeping content, right? You might have an awesome hook, but you don't provide enough value in your information for me to save that video, for me to send that to my friend, right? One of the biggest problems that we see is videos that I have to go in and do something in order to receive more of that information, right? So what I mean by this, right, is that if you are consistently in every single one of your posts not giving out that free value, but then saying that they either have to go to your website or go DM you in order to receive that free value, although those call to actions can work phenomenally as some great bottom funnel content, if that's all that you are posting, that's not going to get people saving your videos, sending your videos out, right? We need to really be providing value. And in 2025, heading 2026, value and trust have never been more important. And that's really what the focus of this is on. So again, what Meta is also going to be looking at as well is, again, or what some more creators are going to be doing as well, is they focus on virality rather than viewer trust. Kind of like what I was just saying, is that if we're not building that trust with these people, with these leads, and all we're focusing on is how viral we can go, that's where you really start falling through the cracks, right? People aren't like, how many memes are there out there, right? Like, we've had this whole 6-7 thing going on forever now, right? There's always that next thing, right? So you don't have to be that person that just stands out and tries to capture everyone's attention. What you want to focus on is being that person that can drive authority, drive trust, and you can actually do what it is that you say you do. People want to see you as that guy, as that girl, right? So really focusing on driving that authority with your posts as well too, by giving back so much free value. Again, what you're probably doing as well too is you're tracing trends that spike impressions, but they kill retention, right? So kind of like I was saying, those 3-second loops. Oh, this is going to be so good for how many people rewatch my videos and all that. But again, that retention from a 3-second video replaying over and over with some BS text on the screen is nowhere near getting a 20-second view duration on a 45-second video, right? So you really want to be making sure that the authority and trust is there so that people are staying around and watching these videos. And again, right now, what you're doing is you're building audiences. You're not building buyers. Now, why is the trust and authority in our content also so important? Because if we're just constantly focusing on going viral and creating viral posts that get a lot of likes, a lot of comments, what does this lead into? It just leads into a lot of unqualified followers. The thing is that if you are posting authority-driven content that people are liking and sharing, although it might not get the most amount of views right off the rip, it's going to be a video that's way more likely to reach those very high metrics, the ones that you're even chasing. But the reason why is because you're not chasing the likes and comments, you're chasing the viewer retention time. And once you nail that down, that's when Meta's going to really be pushing out your correct content to the correct people. We don't want all of your viral videos just being the ones that everyone's seeing, right? We want to be the authority-driven value videos that where people watch them, they are like, you are the man, you are the girl for this, right? And again, what you're teaching the algorithm is that I'm entertaining, people like me for 5 seconds, but I'm not an authority-driven person. I'm not the person that people should be going to when it comes to learning, right? That's why it's very important for us to get those watch time metrics up, because we don't want Meta thinking of us as that account that people go to for those 3-4 second videos and they dip. Why is that? Because Meta's going to show your profile to more people who act like your followers do. So if your followers are acting in a way that is against you right now, you need to change that so everyone else coming through can act accordingly in align with the system, right? So it's very important that you start posting that value-driven content and stop worrying so much about going viral, because it's not only going to bring you in more followers and more leads, but these leads are actually going to be qualified and able to purchase whatever it is you're offering. So let's shift this, all right? From what we like to call engagement farming, which is what all of you guys do, to what we call trust farming. So the algorithm follows the audience and the audience follows trust, right? Trust is you, right? You are trust in this scenario, right? So what we need to do is stop creating for dopamine views, right? We don't need, like, the idea of a 3-second hook capturing people is the most important thing is not the case anymore. That was the case 2-3 years ago. It's obviously you still need a good hook, but what we need to do is deliver the value as fast as possible so that people stay till the end. Now, when you start creating for depth, watch time, kind of like I was saying, is getting that value out as soon as possible so people can perceive that value through the watch time duration of our video. Kind of like I was saying, replace your hooks with loops, stories, frameworks, case studies. If you're going to be posting those like 3-second videos or shorter videos, make sure that they are things that people actually care about. Not some text on the screen that I don't want to read. I'm also not reading your caption. I'm not reading your 14-paragraph caption. What I will listen to, though, if I'm interested in working with you, I want to see how your client, Ryan, who I can relate to, was able to get the results that I'm trying to achieve, right? I want to learn what he used for his DM script or for his sales script, whatever the case is, right? And that's where those framework stories and case studies can really be important. The way you want to think about this is like the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel content. That top of funnel content is really, 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 really just kind of that broader content that's really just trying to attract people, get people in. Middle funnel content is getting more specific, solving an actual problem, building your trust and authority for your direct ICP. And then that bottom funnel content, the very, very bottom down there, that is going to be where you solve a direct problem for a direct person with a direct CTA. And the new metric that we're going to be looking for is how long would this lead want to stay in my world? How long would that lead want to be with me, right? Not how fast can I engage that lead? It's how engaged is that lead with me in the long term, not for the 3 seconds that I can be funny or create a good hook, right? And again, what we really want to be replacing with our viral content is going to be the authority trust building content. And it has never been more important than that. So, and again, kind of going back to what I was just talking about, there's an actual framework for this that you guys can walk away with. So let's actually set you up for success. What I was just talking about, we have our top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel. And the way you think about a funnel is it's huge at the top, and as it gets down to the very bottom, it's nice and little. And the reason why is because at the very bottom, that's where we have our direct ICP, the very people who are going to be buying our programs. So now, again, at the top, that's where it's relatable pain points. You're not really speaking to a direct person, but more as like a broader audience. So look, for instance, for myself, where I work with coaches, that's where I would be calling out to coaches in general. Now, if I'm getting to like that middle funnel or bottom funnel, that's where I'm calling out specific coaches, right? So it might be a life coach. It could be a fitness coach. It could be a coach that coaches coaches, right? There are so many different kind of like videos that we can go out and make, right? We can make videos for trading coaches, for people who trade, Forex or trade stocks, crypto, etc. Right? If I'm talking to crypto coaches and you are a life coach, you're not going to be listening to my video. But if you're a crypto coach and I'm making a direct video for those crypto coaches or Forex coaches, right? That's right up your ICP, right? If you are that ICP, you are watching that video the full way through because it's a direct bottom funnel content that is directed to solve an ideal problem for your ideal ICP. Now, kind of going back to that top of funnel, we wouldn't be targeting that low. We would be more so broad so that we can bring in more of an audience to get more eyes. And then as we go into the middle framework, that's really where we get to the middle funnel framework. That's where we're really problem solving, giving our trust and authority driven content, also showing off some good case studies and testimonials like I was mentioning as well too. And then when we really get to that bottom of CTA, the bottom of funnel, that's where we have our CTAs, which are our call to actions, getting the actual leads to act upon the posts. But also as well too, we are solving a direct problem for them. So you can think about it as at the top, hooks them in, gets them interested in you. The middle, that's where it builds the authority and the trust. They start looking at you like you are that guy, you are that girl. And then bottom funnel, that's where you drive it home with the value and actually get them to act upon your content. But each level of this is going to feed Meta new trust signals, right? So when you do this, and when you post this top, middle, and bottom funnel content, Meta is automatically going to push the people from your top to your middle and to your bottom, as long as your structure is aligned like this. Now, let's go over some actual examples of this. So if you have a content type, again, this is what a lot of people are doing. Audio, text, and text overlay. Your average watch time there is going to be right around 3 seconds, if not maybe 1. How strong is that for the Meta Andromeda? Very, very low. Conversion power, basically 0. If we're making, let's say, story-based reels, so you're talking to a camera, providing some sort of value, right? The average watch duration for those kind of videos right now are sitting anywhere between 15 to 25 seconds. And that's based off of a 45-second to a minute-long video, just for these metrics. Signal strength for Meta, damn, you watched almost half of the video. That's freaking awesome. Meta's going to push more of your bottom funnel content now out to those people, right? Great ones that are working right now are carousels or case studies, etc. These are what really drive people in, especially if they've already gone through that top of funnel content, because this is where they're building that trust and authority with you. And this is what's really going to get them interested and curious as well too, especially when they can start seeing how other people have gotten the same results that they're trying to achieve. And then last but not least, we have our CTA reels, which can be like DMs or comment, whatever the case is, however you're running your CTA. And again, the duration for this, it depends on how strong your video is and how much value you're actually giving. If you can provide value in the first 5 seconds to the lead, your watch duration time will be anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds. But that's going to be the biggest key factor here. So you have to learn how to get away from the idea of the hook and start providing the value in the first 5 seconds. And that's really a metric that I would look out for you guys as well. But the conversion power on that is insanely strong. And then the way you kind of go think about this, like top, middle, bottom funnel content, is that if you're posting, let's say 3 times a day, I would post 1 a day of each, right? If you're posting twice a day, I would just have it in line that like it just goes top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom. That's really how you want to be posting. The only time that I would avoid posting middle or bottom funnel content is going to be on Sundays and Fridays. And the reason for that is that is when you are going to get the least amount of buying power from your leads. So you're less likely to sign deals on Sundays and Fridays compared to any other day throughout the week. And so if you really wanted to get down to the nitty gritty of it, the only times that I would really avoid posting, I wouldn't even avoid posting it, because if you're posting on a Friday or Sunday, you're not converting those leads on Friday and Sunday. But if you really want to get to the nitty gritty of it, that's how I would break it down. Now, how can we actually outsmart the algorithm? Stop posting for reach and start posting for attention, right? What I want you to do is I want you to audit the last 10 posts. I want you to go in your Instagram insights and just look over your last 10 posts. What's the average watch time, average saves, and how many DM shares are there, right? How many shares, average watch time, and how many saves. And then what I want you to do is find your winners. Find what's winning and find what's losing. Study what's winning. And then what I want you to do is just create 10 more posts and kind of like double down on what holds attention and what not spikes, right? So this is going to allow you to see what's actually working for me and what's not actually working for me. And that's really what I want you to go do now, is after this video, straight over to your Instagram insights, go look over your last 10 posts. Even if you don't have 10 posts, look over your last 5 posts and find your winners and find your losers. And you will notice as well too, the content that got pushed out more is going to have the highest watch duration time. I guarantee it. Now, an actual action plan for this. Measure your average watch time as your new North Star. That is the metric that you look out for. No longer likes, no longer comments. It is that average watch duration, which is going to be the most important for you. We are going to now start working on reworking our hooks so that rather than getting people interested and hooked in the first 3 seconds, it's going to allow us to provide the value in that first 5 seconds to keep that authority and that trust. We're going to add direct CTAs on our bottom funnel comment. And with the CTAs, one that's going to really work well for you is getting them directly into your DMs rather than into your comments. Now, why is this working better? Because with the new Meta updates, Meta is pushing more comments to DM conversations rather than conversations in the comments, because a conversation in the DMs is more likely to keep that lead on Instagram for longer rather than a conversation in the comments. Stop deleting and just getting stressed out about your low performing posts, especially when you start creating this value-based content. I guarantee you, when you get started with this, your first couple posts are going to feel like they quote unquote flop. They're not flops. You were just reworking the algorithm the same way that when you got started, you kind of had to rework it. We just kind of have to reprogram that now as well too. And this is going to really get down to that 7-11-4 rule, which I talk about in all my videos. If you guys don't know about the 7-11-4 rule, it is the most important aspect when it comes to actually signing clients. This is going to be 7 hours of content across 11 touch points in 4 different locations. And this is going to be the journey that your clients need to really see you as the authoritative figure and someone that they trust, essentially making them ready to buy. Now, if you guys want more information on this and how you can actually implement this into your business, I've linked my Instagram down below this video. Or if you would like to, you can just go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram at Liam M.W. Brown, all one word, Liam M.W. Brown. Reach out to me and I will help you out for free, showing you exactly how you can implement this into your actual content system. And if you shoot me a message, we can actually do the audit together. So just if you have any questions about this, just please let me know. Shoot me a message and I would love to help you guys out. And again, if you have any questions, just drop them either in the comments below or shoot me a message on Instagram. We'll talk soon. Cheers.